when you can learn how to be a counselor for yourself, basically what I'm talking about, when I say emotions coaching, when I talk about calling myself an emotions coach, that's just a word that I made up because I didn't know of a better one. And what it means is someone who can teach people how to work with energy. Emotions are just energy. Emotions are energy in motion. So beyond managing our emotions, beyond learning how to control our emotions, beyond learning how to figure out why we feel the way that we do so that we can then go about the business of fixing it so then we will feel better, why not just skip to feeling better? You know, why go all through that work hoping that your spouse is going to change or your job is going to change or your health is going to change? Why go to try to fix all of that stuff thinking that then you'll feel better if you can just learn how to feel better? It doesn't mean you might not need to communicate with your spouse or change your job or whatever, but gosh, if you can get to feeling better. And most people, even I'm sorry to say, a lot of therapists don't know this, don't know some of these tools that I got introduced to early on. And the way that this whole emotions coaching thing started was that back when I was doing in-home therapy with some of these families, I was in there to try to help the parents be better parents and that sort of thing. But what I realized is that these people were dealing with horrible traumas. And as soon as something happened with the kid or in their families and these traumas got triggered, all those skills that they had in their thinking brains went out the window. And I was thinking, you know, holy cow, how are we going to help these people? How are we going to help the world be a healthier, safer place to be? And so, you know, I realized too that I had spent the last 15 years at that point, or maybe longer, traveling the continent, searching for these great body-centered approaches to getting the trauma out of me. And these people didn't have the financial resources or the time resources that I had to do that. So I put out this prayer to God, to the universe at that time, and said, what is the fastest, most easeful, most efficient way to clean house, to get this stuff out of us? And then about 2 weeks later, I got some information in the mail. It came via snail mail. That's how long ago it was. I didn't even have an email address. And the information came with a letter from Drs. Gay and Kathleen Hendricks, the psychotherapists that I meant, the body-centered psychotherapists that I mentioned to you earlier. And they were recommending this thing called the Sedona method. And when I read about it, I was kind of grossed out because it was all about, you know, your 20 cassette tape system with your workbook, and there's a money-back guarantee, we promise, and blah, blah, blah. And it just kind of wasn't my thing. But then I remembered that I had just put out that prayer to the universe about what is the fastest, most efficient, most easeful way to clean house. You know, get the negative energy, release it from the unconscious mind. And here's this thing. All right, well, there's a money-back guarantee. So what the heck? So I started listening to this program, and I thought, oh my gosh, this is fantastic. This is more easeful and more sublime and more and simpler. The way that they've packaged this thing together is like a more concise version of what I'd spent the last 15 years doing, of learning how to reconnect with my body and connect with my emotions and learn how to make a space for them and offer them compassion so that they can release. So I was hooked, and I started using it and on myself, and then I started using it with clients. And that's when my idea for emotions coaching evolved, because I realized that everybody needed this tool. Not just people who thought they needed counseling, not people who needed psychotherapy. You and me and everybody else need this tool, or need to find a way to work with their feelings.